Account executives, platforms to empower them. Why AEs feel buried by platforms. Most account executives don't have a selling problem, they have a time problem. Even with more tools than ever, sales reps spend only 28% of their week in direct selling activities, while the rest gets consumed by admin work, internal coordination, and bouncing between systems. If our platform choices don't give that time back, we're effectively paying AEs to click instead of close. Tool growth is a big driver of the mess. The average sales team uses about 10 tools to close deals, and a large share of sellers report feeling overwhelmed by the stack, an issue echoed elsewhere where nearly 45% of sales pros say the number of tools is simply too much. The practical takeaway is simple. Empowerment today looks less like adding features and more like reducing friction. The trap is thinking more platforms automatically means more productivity. In reality, the best AE environments are designed around a few core workflows: action planning, meetings, follow-up, and forecasting. Then, tightly integrated so AEs live in one or two places most of the day. That's the bar we should hold every new platform to. Does it remove busy work, improve decisions, or raise the quality of customer conversations? Define empowered outcomes before you buy. Before we evaluate vendors, we need to define what empowered actually means for an AE in our business. In complex B2B, AEs are orchestrators across multiple stakeholders, internal teams, and deal motions. Net new, renewals, and expansions often happening at the same time. Platforms should support that orchestration by making it easier to prioritize the right accounts, run better meetings, and move deals forward without guesswork. A practical way to keep decisions grounded is to judge every tool against 4 outcomes: more selling time, better targeting and prioritization, higher quality conversations, and cleaner data with clearer forecasting. If a platform can't credibly improve at least one of those, it's noise, no matter how polished the demo looks. This is also where we avoid a common mistake: buying by category instead of by workflow impact. To make this real, run a 1-week day-in-the-life audit with 3 to 5 AEs. Have them log where time goes, which tools they touch, and what forces context switching. You'll usually find that a few repeat offenders, manual note-taking, duplicate data entry, and scattered follow-up are responsible for most of the drag. And those are the exact spots where a lean platform strategy can claw back hours per week. Design a lean AE stack around workflows, not vendor categories. A fast way to simplify is to start with a whiteboard of what AEs actually do: manage accounts, run meetings, follow up, and forecast. Then map platforms to those workflows and eliminate anything that doesn't remove clicks or add real insight. Teams that take this approach typically find they can cut meaningful redundancy quickly, and adoption improves because the right tools are now aligned to daily habits. We recommend consolidating into a core blueprint, your must-have 4, and treating everything else as optional until proven. This matters because when sellers are juggling around 10 tools, even great platforms underperform due to fragmented workflows and half-implemented integrations. Consolidation becomes a competitive advantage when it makes execution faster and keeps CRM data trustworthy. Here's a simple blueprint you can use to evaluate what stays, what consolidates, and what gets sunset over the next 90 days. Get the CRM and data layer right, or everything else fails. Your CRM is the AE's system of record, but it only works when it's easy to keep current. That means native email, calendar integration, automatic activity capture from calling and engagement tools, and AE-friendly views that make next steps obvious. A common mistake is optimizing the CRM for leadership dashboards while leaving reps stuck with manual updates and confusing fields. Data quality is the quiet killer of AE productivity. One report estimates companies lose about 12% of revenue due to inaccurate or incomplete data, which shows up as bounced emails, dead phone numbers, duplicate records, and misrouted outreach. If we want AEs spending time selling instead of cleaning, we need clear field ownership, validation rules that match the sales process, and an ongoing hygiene rhythm. Treat the data layer as a managed product, not a one-time project. Enrichment and verification tools only pay off when they're integrated into the CRM and enforced through process, especially for buying committee mapping and account-level visibility. The goal is simple. AEs should be able to open an account and trust that the contacts, history, and open opportunities reflect reality without building shadow spreadsheets. If a platform doesn't remove clicks from the core AE motions or add meaningful insight, it's not empowering. It's just adding noise. Make engagement and follow-up repeatable without tool sprawl. Sales engagement platforms aren't just for SDRs. AEs need them to standardize follow-up and protect calendar time. The best use cases are late-stage and post-meeting motions, rescuing stalled opportunities, coordinating multi-threaded follow-up, and running renewal or expansion plays with consistent timing. When AEs rely on memory instead of systems, the pipeline becomes a collection of "I'll get to it" moments. The key is to keep engagement in the flow of work. Choose one primary engagement platform that syncs cleanly with your CRM, captures activities automatically, and supports personalization without forcing AEs into a separate universe of tasks. This is where many teams stumble. They buy an engagement tool, but they don't define ownership rules between SDRs and AEs, so records get messy and adoption collapses. If you're also working with a cold email agency, an outbound sales agency, or running in-house sequences, the integration bar has to be even higher. You want every touch, email, call, LinkedIn outreach, reflected on the account timeline, so AEs enter meetings with context, not surprises. In practice, the win is fewer handoffs, fewer missed follow-ups, and more consistency across pods and territories. Turn conversation intelligence into coaching, not surveillance. Conversation intelligence only becomes an AE empowerment tool when it's wired into coaching and deal strategy. Benchmarks commonly cited for effective deployments include 15 to 25% improvements in win rates and quota attainment, plus 20 to 30% faster deal cycles. When teams use insights for structured coaching and pipeline reviews, not just call storage. Recording calls is table stakes. Operationalizing the learnings is where results show up. Build a lightweight weekly rhythm. Managers review 2 calls per AE, tag a few coachable moments, and convert patterns into talk tracks and snippets the team can reuse. This also prevents a common failure mode where call libraries turn into content graveyards that nobody touches after implementation. When CI becomes part of one-to-ones, it accelerates skill development and improves consistency across the team. For AEs, the immediate value is speed and clarity. Transcripts and summaries reduce note-taking, surface stakeholder concerns, and make it easier to prep for the second and third meeting without rewatching an hour-long recording. Over time, CI data becomes a feedback loop for enablement, messaging, and competitive positioning. So coaching is based on evidence, not anecdotes. Use enablement and AI to remove prep work and increase consistency. Enablement works when it acts like real-time GPS, not a static library. Data points often show meaningful gaps in performance when enablement is formalized. For example, about 66% of reps at companies with formal enablement hit quota versus 49% without it, a 17-point difference. Another benchmark indicates organizations using enablement tools are 19% more likely to increase average win rates year over year. which is exactly what AEs need when deals get more competitive. The implementation detail that matters most is stage-based enablement. For each opportunity stage, embed the 2 to 3 assets that actually move deals. Case studies, one-pagers, mutual action plan templates, talk tracks, directly inside the CRM view or engagement workflow. If AEs have to search for content outside their daily tools, they won't use it consistently, and the platform becomes shelfware. AI is now part of this foundation, not a novelty. Roughly 81% of sales teams are experimenting with or already using AI, and AI-enabled teams report a 17-point advantage in revenue growth outcomes. For example, 83% reporting revenue growth versus 66% for non-AI teams. The adoption play is to start small. Pilot AI for meeting prep and follow-up with 3 to 5 AEs. Measure time saved per deal, then scale once the workflow proves itself. Protect AE selling time by pairing platforms with an SDR engine. Even the best AE platforms can't fix a basic leverage problem. When AEs spend hours prospecting, the highest cost role is doing the lowest leverage work. This is where sales outsourcing can be a force multiplier, especially when it's handled by a specialist SDR agency that pairs people with a platform built for volume research, sequencing, and deliverability. The goal is not more leads. It's more qualified conversations delivered into the same CRM and engagement workflows AEs already use. At SalesHive, we operate as a tech-enabled B2B sales agency and cold calling agency that integrates directly into existing AE stacks. Since 2016, we've booked 100,000+ meetings for 1,500+ B2B clients by running cold calling services, list building services, and outbound email through managed SDR pods. When an outsourced sales team is integrated well, AEs get clean handoffs, complete contact history, and context-rich notes, without living in spreadsheets or disconnected tools. A practical next step is a 90-day rollout plan. Audit AE time for 1 week. Define the must-have 4 blueprint. Consolidate tools that don't integrate, and launch 2 operating rhythms: weekly call coaching and stage-based enablement embedded in CRM. In parallel, plug in an outbound engine, whether in-house or via a cold email agency, B2B cold calling services provider, or a partner like us, so top-of-funnel production doesn't steal AE cycles. If the outcome is that AEs spend more time selling than clicking, the platform strategy is working.